Welcome back to another edition of Chalk It Up Sports, where it don't matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Appreciate you guys for being here. You guys know how we do it. Got to start the show with gratitude. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Can't take you guys for granted. You guys are always here showing out, showing mad love, and the show has been growing exponentially because of it. You guys have truly been putting your best foot forward, smashing that like button, staying engaged in the comment section and in the live chat. You guys have also been subscribing. You've been sharing the content, right? Retweeting and so on and so forth. So I'm just grateful to be here with you guys. I'm grateful that I get to sit here and talk football, man. It's pretty cool stuff. So make sure you guys sit back, get comfortable. As a matter of fact, like I always say, before you get too comfortable though, smash that like button. Make sure you are subscribed, right? Before you take your shoes off, before you go to the fridge and make yourself a plate, go upstairs and say hi to your grandmother. Okay. Go make sure you say hi to your elders. Go smash that like button before you get too comfortable. Okay. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to Louis, Fanny Eagles fan girl, G Dragon. Welcome to the show. I know we got a bunch of other people in the building as well. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Goes a long way. Can't take it for granted. You know, this week has been a very fascinating week. And coming off of that Packers game, we had a lot of great things to talk about when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. We had some not so great things to talk about as it pertains to the up and down quarterback play in that game, or if we want to talk about the defense, even though I think the defense, all things considered, had a pretty decent game. There's some people who have their fair share of concerns on the Eagles' defensive side of the ball, and it's largely resided in the defensive line. And I understand that because the defensive line couldn't really get anything going in that game. Part of it, the field wasn't really in the best condition, and also it just seemed like they had a hard time just beating a man. But I want to reserve judgment on the defense. I want to reserve judgment on a lot of these players, Falcons included, because a lot can change between week 1 and week 2. Most of the time, the team you see in week 1 is not the team that you're going to see when it's week 4, week 5, week 6. These teams are learning on the go. And the Atlanta Falcons are a new team, so to speak. New head coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. I'm not even sure if they have the same GM or not, but new quarterback, right? Their offense is pretty young at the skill position. Defense, you have a ton of experience, right? But the Atlanta Falcons offense struggled to put up 10 points in their matchup against the Steelers. And I know it's very easy to say, the Atlanta Falcons, they're food. Let's crush them. We should dominate them. And in my heart of hearts, I agree. I agree that the Atlanta Falcons should be very beatable for the Philadelphia Eagles. As a matter of fact, the Philadelphia Eagles should really, really curb stomp the Atlanta Falcons. That's what I want to happen. But I also have to acknowledge that the Atlanta Falcons get paid too. Those players, those coaches get paid too. Big money at that. Falcons are paying Kirk Cousins 4 years, $180 million. It's a lot of money being tied up, right? They're paying Jesse Bates a lot of money. Guys like that. So I can't sit here and just think that the Falcons are going to come in and not make any adjustments from that Steelers game that we know they had. On offense, their key players, Kirk Cousins, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts. Their offensive line underperformed greatly in that game. A lot of people expected Atlanta's offensive line to be better. But Kirk Cousins was running for his life in that game. And he barely was able to run at that. No bootleg, didn't hike the ball or snap the ball under center. Nothing. But I can't sit here and just pretend they're not going to go back to the drawing board and make a ton of corrections. As a matter of fact, I've been saying this. I think it's very plausible that the Falcons overcorrect. I think the Falcons are going to completely flush that game and just reset their entire approach on offense. Because there were so many things from their offensive performance that was so lackluster, so predictable. And you kind of question Kirk Cousins' physical limitations, or to the extent of how good he can be coming off of the Achilles injury. You have your questions about that when it comes to Kirk Cousins. Let me throw some numbers to you guys, just to give you an idea of what the Atlanta Falcons did last Sunday against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just hear me out on this. According to ESPN Stats Info, in week 1, the Atlanta Falcons ran their offense from either the shotgun or the pistol formation in 90% or in 96% of their total snaps. 96% of the total offensive snaps was either out of shotgun or pistol. So that alone already makes you pretty predictable. You're not snapping the ball from under center at all. Kirk Cousins is not being utilized in the play action, which is something he's really prided himself on. Right, his 7-step dropbacks. Kirk Cousins is very surgical. He's more traditional, and he's never really been mobile, right? But he looks even more limited than he has in the past, does he not? And I'm going to get to your comments, by the way. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you smash that like button. But Kirk Cousins, he looks even more limited. Let me take it a step further, right? Like I said, 96% of their total offensive snaps was either out of the shotgun formation or the pistol. Nothing under center. Hardly. Now, listen to this. This is where it gets real spooky for Kirk Cousins and the Falcons. And I don't know if this is going to be a trend or if this was a honest error. We're going to find out. But listen to this now. The 22 shotgun snaps, right? The Falcons ran 22 plays out of shotgun. When it comes to those 22 shotgun plays, 100% of those shotgun plays were pass plays. They did not run the ball at all out of the shotgun with Bijan Robinson. Not one bit. And they barely was in I formation. He barely snapped from under center. So you mean to tell me all your running plays came out of what formation then? If you didn't run the ball at all out of shotgun and you were only in 2 formations the whole game, shotgun and pistol, what does that mean? We know when you're going to pass. We know when you're going to run. Listen to this. 22 snaps from the pistol. 22 offensive snaps out of the pistol. Tell me why the Atlanta Falcons ran the ball 81% of the time out of the pistol. So let's really break this down one more time. Out of all the offensive plays they ran, 96% of those plays were out of the shotgun and the pistol. 22 of those plays that were shotgun, only pass plays. The 22 snaps that were pistol, 81% of the time, run plays. So when you get in the shotgun, we know you passing it. When you get into the pistol, we know you running it. A very predictable game plan for the Pittsburgh Steelers to pick up. Quite frankly, that defense wasn't even tested. It made it very easy for those guys to tee off. And that's probably why they got called for a couple neutrals on infractions or offsides, because they knew what was coming. It was just a matter of timing it up. So the Atlanta Falcons have a lot to fix leading into this Monday night football game. And I actually believe the Atlanta Falcons are a talented team. Top to bottom, I think they're talented. I like their head coach. It remains to be seen how good he will be with his second opportunity to be a head coach, I believe. Raheem Morris. I had the Atlanta Falcons. I still do have them winning the NFC South. It's only week 1. But you got to ask yourself, does Kirk Cousins trust his Achilles? Does Kirk Cousins trust his Achilles? Remember, he's coming off of a season-ending injury. He tore his Achilles or ruptured his Achilles early last season, as a matter of fact. And he hasn't played NFL action for quite some time. The Atlanta Falcons paid him 4 years, $180 million. The doctors did clear him, correct? But just because you were medically cleared physically doesn't mean that you're cleared mentally. You know, they have sports psychologists for a reason, and I would imagine he had to deal with that throughout the offseason, but he doesn't look like a guy out there who's putting his best foot forward, no pun intended. He doesn't seem like the guy that's driving the ball. He looks skittish out there. And the Atlanta Falcons showed that he was compromised in their play calling. They showed that he wasn't 100% in their style of play calling. Once again, 96% of the time, he was either in the shotgun or the pistol, meaning that you didn't want Kirk Cousins having to go through a 7 or a 5-step drop back at all. You didn't want him dropping back not one bit. You didn't want him running out of the bootleg. You didn't want him in play action situations. You didn't want him to turn his back to the defensive line. You exposed your hand. Who's the offensive coordinator for the Falcons? The offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons is Zach Robinson. Who is Zach Robinson? Let me look up his resume. Let's find out who he is. All right, Zach Robinson, 37 years old, offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. Says here Zach Robinson was named the offensive coordinator on January 29, 2024. Robinson comes to Atlanta after spending 5 seasons with the Los Angeles Rams, where he served in a variety of roles, including quarterbacks, passing game coordinator, assistant quarterbacks coach, and assistant wide receivers coach. Okay. So he clearly has worked with some good receivers. He was able to get the most out of Puka. He worked with Cooper Kupp. Right? Look, man. He's worked with Sean McVay, so they expect a lot out of this guy, schematically, right? But honestly, I couldn't have seen a more predictable game plan as it pertains to a player's health. They did not want Kirk Cousins showing his back to the defensive line. They wanted him to have enough space so he could make a clear-cut decision and get out of Dodge. And he still got beat up in that game. Got sacked twice, but best believe they shouldn't have had him more than that. It was forced fumbles, strip sacks. He threw 2 interceptions, only threw for about 150 yards, 1 touchdown. The offense was anemic. So although I do expect the Atlanta Falcons to make a ton of adjustments, I expect that. That begs the question, how many adjustments can you really make? How many contingency plans can you have in place to supplement Kirk Cousins' limitations physically? Because at the end of the day, his body is his body. He is who he is. Kirk Cousins can throw the football. We've played Eagles fans. Your Philadelphia Eagles has played Kirk Cousins quite often. And that Kirk Cousins looked very different physically. Am I jumping the gun? Was it week 1 rust? It could be. But I believe we're catching the Falcons at the right time. I believe we are catching the Falcons at a point where they don't know how good they actually are or how good they can be with the talented guys they have in that roster. I think this should be a game where the Eagles' defensive line should truly really be able to get off here, especially with a lot of people already having their doubts about it. It's a narrative. It's a talking point. You lose Hassan Reddick in the offseason. You lose Fletcher Cox. Now Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat. You're looking for those guys to step up. Milton Williams, BG. I don't know if I said Nolan Smith already, but you're looking for guys to step up and really take this pass rush to a different level. I'm not going to say a higher level, but a different level. Show us something that we didn't think was there. I trust Jalen Carter, Bryce Huff and Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith didn't have the greatest opening game, but the turf wasn't, or the grass wasn't really the best condition. So I want to reserve my judgment for the pass rush. If they can get home for about 3 or 4 sacks in that game against the Falcons, and the Steelers were only able to get 2. But if you can end that game with 3 sacks, 2 or 3 sacks, 2 to 4 sacks, and it came from your edge, I can roll with it. If you got pressure, if you're hitting him, if you're putting hands and feet on Kirk Cousins, okay, all right. I just feel like we should be able to feel that pass rush. We should be able to visibly say, oh, okay, that pass rush is making his day hell. Seriously. We should be able to, it should be able to jump off of the screen. In that Packers game, I caught myself watching linebacker play and DB play more than the defensive line. And that's only because, I mean, they just seemed like they were adjusting quicker to the circumstances. But that Falcons offensive line has players. You got to look at their players and say, okay, you got Kyle Pitts, you got Drake London, you got Bijan Robinson. If you go back to the drawing board and make the right adjustments, you could probably get those guys in positions to win. And they're likely going to get the ball out of Kirk Cousins' hand very fast. So I would be, if I'm the Eagles defense, I'm on the lookout for quick slants. I'm on the lookout for like out routes, throws to the flat, screen plays, jet sweeps. Just trying to get the offense moving. Listen, you can't sleep on Ray McCloud. You can't sleep on Darnell Mooney. They gave Darnell Mooney a lot of money, but you can't sleep on them. Both of those players got speed. You don't want to get caught in another jet sweep situation with Ray McCloud, like they did with Jaden Reed. J62 Moon with the $1.99 super chat. He says, I don't like games I'm too comfortable walking into. That's why I'm trying to give all of you guys a reality check so you're not too comfortable walking into it. Where at the end of the day, no matter how the Falcons looked in that game, we got to call it what it is. And we got to be honest with ourselves. Week 1 is a hard barometer to use to judge a football team. It goes for the Eagles. It goes for the Falcons. It goes for everybody. It's really hard to judge a football team off of just 1 week's sample size. So although I look at Kirk Cousins and I question his mobility and question just his confidence in his Achilles, I still look at that Falcons team as a team that I don't want to sleep on. I don't think we should go into that game reckless on either side of the ball. We're going to get into the offensive side for the Philadelphia Eagles. Don't get me wrong. And we're going to talk about that Falcons defense. We're going to get there. But defensively for the Eagles, this shouldn't be a game where you underestimate your opponent. Don't think the Falcons are going to come in here and just lay down. They lost their home opener. They don't want to start the season 2 games in the hole. They're going to overcorrect. They're going to do everything possible to get that ball out of Kirk Cousins' hands fast. And they're going to do everything possible to get their skill position guys in open space. So J62, trust me, I'm definitely trying to make sure that we don't go into this game too comfortable. I want to make sure we address every elephant in the room. I'm not sleeping on nobody. But everybody, in my humble opinion, anybody can get it. Anybody can get the paws put on them. I'm not sleeping on you. But best believe, I'm trying to make sure I put you to sleep. So I feel you, Jay. You want to respect every opponent. I'm with you on that, brother. I got you. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat too. War V says, I see us winning by 10. I think that's reasonable. I don't have my score prediction quite yet, but I think we win by 10 as well. I agree with that. Louis says we need a win here for tiebreakers. Mark my words, it's a vital win. I agree with you 100%. I think the Falcons may be in it in the end. So you've already got the head-to-head tiebreak over the Packers. You get another head-to-head tiebreak over the Falcons. That'll do you well towards the back end of the season. Because again, I think the Falcons are going to be better. I don't think they know how good they can be yet, and we're catching them at the perfect time. We're catching them at the perfect time before they really, really get their bearings under them. Fanny Eagles fan says because of his lack of mobility, he should be an easy sack with our defense. Yeah. I mean, that's the hope, right? You want these guys to be able to take advantage of a quarterback that can't really move. But because he can't really move, and I think they saw that in full form in that game, I think they're going to do everything possible to get that ball out of his hands. If there's another game here where we see them not using Kirk Cousins in play action or rollouts, and we just keep seeing him in shotgun and pistol, it's going to tell you everything you need to know. They're not comfortable, or he's not comfortable in the skin yet. Reese says AJ Terrell can guard AJ. Hey, listen, I don't even think AJ Terrell is better than Jair Alexander. Oh, he can't. Okay, got you, Ree. I'm about to say, hey, Ree, I was about to say, man, because I saw that first comment. I'm glad you followed it up. Brother. Because AJ Terrell, he gonna have a long day. Against AJ Brown. Jair Alexander couldn't even keep him down. You think AJ Terrell will? I think not. Yoshiwara, opening night, we're going to tighten the F up. It's going to get ugly for Atlanta. Yo, I agree with you. I actually think that we've seen the worst Philadelphia Eagles team. That's kind of been my narrative since the first week. I think this is the worst Philadelphia Eagles team that we're going to see. I think we only get better from here. Fanny said, "Who would you put on Ray McCloud?" Well, it's a good question. See, the Eagles play a lot of zone, so they don't really do that. Like, they don't have guys follow guys. So it all depends on where Ray McCloud is. He's going to be in the slot, so that means you're going to see Cooper DeJean on him probably, or whoever they play in the slot. Malcolm 2.0 says, I think Jahan Dotson may have a big game along with Dallas Goedert. Yeah, a lot of people got to understand too that Jahan Dotson just got here still. He's still learning the offense. I think he got here after training camp was over. So he didn't really get a chance to really take in his offense. They kept his role pretty simple in week one. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Jahan Dotson's role begins to increase. And also I think him and Hurts just have to build up that chemistry. Brian Stetcher says, I think the Eagles know it would be different for week one. Yeah, I think they know too. And Vic Fangio is a pretty smart coordinator. He's not going to allow his team to go into this game flat-footed. Errol Holmes, welcome to the show, my friend. He says, I'm going to blame the bad D-line play on the field last week. Can we get Sweat and Huff? Can we get a Sweat and Huff sighting? Yo, I'm with you on that. Like, you're paying Bryce Huff $51 million. And I think you guaranteed the first 2 years. So you're basically paying him a $17 million salary. $34 million is guaranteed on the $51 million or $51.1 million contract. You're giving him a lot of money. He needs to get home. He needs to get hands and feet on the quarterback. So, Errol, I'm with you. I'm not gonna jump out the window and crucify this D-line because they struggled a little bit. I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, and I'm going to expect them to be better playing at Lincoln Financial Field, where the conditions should be much more optimal. It's going to be a beautiful night in Philadelphia. Alex O, welcome to the show. He says, you think Howie might move Rodgers or Bradbury? We have too much talent in that cornerback room. No. Well, Bradbury's going to be hard. Remember, Bradbury's hurt. He's on IR. And even when he comes back, the trade deadline is going to be fast approaching. I just don't see a team trading for him at this point. The value that we thought he had is completely shot. He's gonna likely be a off-season cut. I just don't see a team trading for him at this point. Why? He's coming off of an injury. He didn't come off of a good year. He has no trade value. So they're not going to. They can't trade Bradbury. And then as far as Isaiah Rodgers, I don't see that. He still has value. You want to have enough depth at the position. So I wouldn't trade him. Louis Louis. Louis says, to be honest, I'm mad excited for Quinyon Mitchell to play. Love seeing him talk that trash. Such a Philly vibe. I want to see more out of Cooper DeJean too. Maybe a Jalen Hunt sighting or two. Yeah, I would love to see Jalen Hunt and Cooper DeJean get more action. Cooper was on the field for a little bit. He didn't play much, but he was on the field in that Packers game. And then Jalen Hunt wasn't activated. He wasn't hurt, but he wasn't activated. So that's something that you got to think about. Is this a game where the Philadelphia Eagles want to activate Jalen Hunt? I was actually surprised that he wasn't activated in the first game, but maybe they looked at it from the perspective of, we're going to go into this game with 5 edge rushers. Our 5th edge rusher is going to be Patrick Johnson. You know, that game and that game in Sao Paulo, Brazil, required experience. And I think Vic Fangio even spoke on how they went with experience for the most part in that game, right? Having Devontae Maddox in the slot, they went with experience. So it may go the same for the D line. It may go the same. Automatic says, what if Rodgers is even better than Quinyon? We need to see what he can do before we talk about trading him or any of that. Yeah, I mean, I don't intend on trading Isaiah Rodgers under any circumstance. But I don't think physically, listen, I don't think there's a world where Isaiah Rodgers can be better than Quinyon Mitchell. I know that's a pretty bold statement, but the reason I say that is because Quinyon Mitchell just has significantly better physical tools. He's bigger, he's stronger. You know what I'm saying? He's longer, rangier, more athletic. You know, Isaiah Rodgers, he's fast, twitchy. You know, he's a playmaker. But Quinyon, I prefer his physical profile on the outside more than I prefer Isaiah Rodgers' physical profile. All right, let's see. Fitness Warrior, what's going on? Welcome to the show, my guy. Reese says we're deep in the cornerback room. Ringo and Rick's ready to go too. Yeah, Ringo, he's just waiting for his opportunity. That's all it is. He's just waiting for his opportunity. And he's going to get it at some point. We'll see. At some point, he will get his opportunity. Best believe that. Make sure you guys smash that like button as well. We have over 90 people in the live stream, and we only got 39 likes, you guys. Do me a favor, smash that like button. It goes a long way. It really helps the content grow. We have over 90 people in the live stream, and we only got 39 likes, y'all. So get active. The math it out mathing. I need y'all to do y'all part in this YouTube space. That like button is currency. That like button is food. It helps the show grow, helps the content grow. Make sure you guys lock in on that and hit that like button. It means a lot to me. And also, you guys, make sure you check out my interview on the Philly, the podcast with Joe Castro. That was a pretty fun conversation we had this morning. Let me see if I can pull it up here for you guys, because that was a pretty good conversation we had this morning about the Eagles defense. What else we talked about? Here it is. All right. There we go. All right. Yeah. So just make sure you guys check it out. Here it is right here. Let me bring it up on screen. I really enjoyed talking to Castro this morning. Really enjoyed that. All right. So make sure you guys go to Philly, the podcast featuring Joe Castro. My interview with him is right here. Super Bowl or bust with Tone DeShields II. Let me actually mute this. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, make sure you guys go check out that interview with me and Joe Castro from Philly, the podcast. Appreciate him. Appreciate the love that he showed me. It was a pretty fun conversation. Go check that out. It's available. Couldn't be more grateful to him for showing love. So make sure you guys go check out the show. It means a lot to me. So, yeah, you guys. This is going to be a fun game for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think this is a game where I think this is a game where we can see the defense start to tee off a little bit more. Let's see where we at. We got over 100 people in the building. Only 50 likes. Come on, y'all. Come on. Y'all know the vibes. I don't ask y'all for too much. All I ask for y'all is to make sure y'all smash that like button before you get too comfortable. I need that. Smash that like button, y'all. Y'all know what to do. Now, if you're driving, be careful. I don't want you smashing no like button while you're driving. If you got the kids in one hand and you try and cook dinner in the other hand, hey, be careful, all right? But just make sure you hit that like button on the way in and make sure you hit it on the way out. Appreciate you. All right, let's see here. I do have another topic that I want to hit with you guys. Again, we talked about the Falcons offense and how the Eagles defense could potentially take advantage of it, right? The Eagles defense is coming off of in my opinion, a promising performance. I understand they gave up a good amount of yards on the ground, and they gave up, I believe, over 400 yards of total offense. I believe that's what it was. I want to make sure I got that correct here. But although the Eagles defense was numerically giving up a lot of yards, if you really watch that game, you understand that defense really didn't break too often, right? They really didn't break too often. Like I said, this should be a game where the entire Eagles defensive line should be able to level up the production. They should be able to maximize their opportunities. If they can't get home against this Falcons team, we're going to have some trouble on our hands. I'll tell you that right now. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. Now, I want to get to my defensive scouting report. That's what I want to do. The Falcons defensive scouting report. By the way, you guys, just want to give you a heads up. We are going to be doing a giveaway today. We're doing a giveaway. And I really can't wait for this one. Because you guys know I always take care of you guys. And I always like to make sure you guys get something out of me when I expect a lot out of you, right? Give me 1 second. I'm trying to make sure I got my stuff together here. Anyway, so we're doing a giveaway today. After I get through all my topics, my final topic of the day, we're going to talk about the Falcons defense, and we're going to talk about the Eagles offense. So make sure you lock in, smash that like button. We're going to continue to have some fun. It gets better. So Falcons defense, right? That Falcons defense, they held the Steelers to 18 points. 18 points on all field goals, by the way. Didn't allow them to score a single touchdown, which is pretty impressive. It's impressive. You held the team to 18 points. You bent, but you didn't break. You were playing pretty fast. You gave your offense plenty of opportunities to come back and win the game, right? They were always in it to win the game. Yet they still couldn't take advantage of what you were doing. That could be frustrating. So again, allowing only field goals, holding them to 18 points, pretty impressive. But follow me here. It also means that the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to move the ball well enough to be in field goal range. They were able to move the ball well enough to be in a position to score. So that begs the question. If the Atlanta Falcons was going up against a competent offensive attack, would they be in trouble? And again, I always want to preface things with this. It's only week 1. And that defense has talent on it. Best believe that. But the Steelers are a team that struggled to score touchdowns over the past few seasons, the past couple seasons. They've struggled to score touchdowns, and so far it's continued. Justin Fields, he did the best he could. You know what I mean? They didn't really give him the keys to just take too many risks. He played a very, very pedestrian game and didn't really stress that Falcons defense that much. But when you get in position to kick 6 field goals, when you get on that side of the football field that many times, I ask questions about that defense. But I do think that team is going to be better down the line. But how much can you fix from week 1 to week 2? Offensively, I know they're going to fix a lot of things. Defensively, what do you carry over? What do you take from that game? How do you know how good you really are? That Steelers offense is pretty anemic. The Eagles aren't going to struggle to put up touchdowns. The Eagles are going to find their way into the end zone. So I look at Jalen Hurts and I look at this Eagles offense and I say to myself, you don't have to be reckless at all. You don't got to be reckless. You don't have to take unnecessary chances or risk. All you got to do is play the game and run the call the way it was meant to be called or ran. Remember, they got Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons, AJ Terrell out there. Those guys can disrupt the game. Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons, and AJ Terrell, those guys can make life miserable for people. But when you got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith out there, Dallas Goedert, Jahan Dotson, Saquon Barkley, not an easy task to defend all those gentlemen. Not an easy task at all. So someone's going to be open. Jalen Hurts has got to go through his reads and deliver the pill. That's all you got to do. You know, you got to pick your spots. You know, I know Jalen Hurts can do great things in great moments, but you got to pick your spots. You ain't got to be great all the time. Sometimes you got to just hand it off. Sometimes you got to just pitch and catch. You know, when so far you're going up against two talented secondaries back-to-back weeks. Last week you ran up against Jair Alexander, Xavier McKinney, Eric Stokes. Those guys are talented. This week you're running up against AJ Terrell, Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons. Those guys are talented. You don't want to play around with your food out there. Also, best believe the Falcons are going to take turns or they're going to take their turn at blitzing Jalen Hurts. They're going to do their best to make him as uncomfortable as possible. Now, granted, Jalen Hurts is coming off of a week where he was very efficient against the blitz. I think he went like 6 for 7, over 100 yards, a touchdown. He got the ball out of his hands when need be. He made all his hot reads, made the line calls and the adjustments. Jalen Hurts responded to the blitz very well. And you got Saquon Barkley. So do you really want to blitz the Eagles? Do you really want to stack the box? Especially when you got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Dallas got it right there. It's a hard team to defend. So you really don't have to go above and beyond. Pitch and catch. And let Saquon Barkley do Saquon Barkley things. Saquon Barkley being here is going to take so much pressure off of Jalen Hurts to have to be Superman. Having all these guys here, it takes pressure off of Jalen Hurts for having to be Superman. So I think, you know, when you think about the way he turned the ball over in week 1, you say to yourself, okay, those are avoidable. Those are things you can get out in the wash. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's not like Jalen Hurts can't deliver the ball accurately. He just made ill-advised decisions. We'll see how it turns out, but I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a much cleaner game. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be much cleaner going forward. I'm very optimistic about Jalen Hurts' season. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a great game. Great game. Another thing about the Falcons defense. The Falcons defense did give up 137 rushing yards. Demarius Smith brings up a good point here. She says the Steelers could have been getting the ball in good field position, leading to those field goals. That's an absolute fact. You're actually right about that. The Steelers forced a few turnovers, so they actually were getting that ball in pretty good field position on half of those scoring drives, so to speak. That's a great pull by you, Demaria. I completely forgot about that. Steelers forced turnovers, and they gave their offense a short field. But yes, the Atlanta Falcons, that defense, they did give up 137 rush yards, right? But you got to be careful because they only gave up that yardage on an average of 3.3 yards per carry. So they weren't an easy team to run on. The Steelers couldn't really just get off. And let me take it a step further. They ran for 137 rushing yards, the Steelers on the Falcons. The Falcons defense gave up 137 rushing yards on an average of 3.3 yards per carry on 41 attempts. That's a pretty good stand. That's a pretty good stand. Najee Harris and that running back room, they weren't really able to get off. Even Justin Fields, he really didn't break too many crazy runs. The Falcons' run defense was pretty solid, all things considered. Another thing is that Falcons defense on third down was a little bit of an issue on last Sunday. They allowed the Steelers to go 8 for 17, which is just under 50% at third down. That's a pretty good number. Granted, week one, circumstances, a lot goes into it. But that third down defense, really not the best. Can that be had? Can that be something the Philadelphia Eagles feel comfortable in? The Philadelphia Eagles offense has to put themselves in some good second and short situations, right? You want to win first down against this Falcons team. You win first down, you win the game. But overall, their defense, by my estimation, is really hard to judge. Let's just be honest. I think the Steelers' defense is hard, or the Falcons' defense is hard to judge. Excuse me. It's hard to judge for a couple of reasons. One, they played a struggling Steelers offense. Hard to get a good read on the Atlanta Falcons defense through that. And also, it was only week one. And I know I keep saying that, but it's true. Week one can tell you a lot of can give you some truths, but it can tell you a lot of lies, right? So, as much as I say about this Falcons defense, and maybe there is some moments or spots where the Eagles can take advantage, you don't want to go in there sleeping on them. They're talented, and they have guys that know how to take the ball away. All right, let me get to some of your comments here. Thank you for being here, by the way, you guys. Smash that like button. I know I'm normally live earlier in the day. Had some stuff I needed to do, so here we are. I appreciate you for being here. Let's see. Micah Brown says the Steelers don't have the O-line we have either, though. I think we'll get more push from the line against the Falcons D-line. That's a good point. It's a very good point. I think the Eagles' offensive line is the best. And I love what Mekhi Becton brings. Mekhi Becton is nasty. He's fierce. He's powerful. I love his mentality. Fanny says we also want to get off the field on third and fourth down as well. Facts. I agree. She says Pickens couldn't even get a touchdown. Yeah, man, that was rough. I mean, Justin Fields couldn't really find him consistently. Crowley X26, he says Eagles pass rushers have to get home or I'll be worried about the pass rush. I agree, man. And you're going to be home. You're going to be playing on dry ground. You ain't got to worry about slippage. You know, if you can't get home in this game, we got some issues. Malcolm 2.0 says, do you expect a Philly special play on Monday? That would be crazy. Nah, I don't think so. Maybe if they're up by a few scores, maybe. But I don't think so. All right. Brian Stetcher says the Steelers running backs are not the Eagles running backs. Yeah. Najee Harris is definitely not Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is definitely a different breed. Khalid says Cousins was throwing picks. That's why they had field position. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're right. He threw 2 picks and I think he fumbled once, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, rough game by him. That definitely helped the Pittsburgh Steelers get in good enough field position for their offense to make a few plays and kick the field goals. And a lot of those field goals were long, like 50-plus yardage field goals. So, yeah, you guys bring up a good point, right? They really didn't allow too much movement. That Falcons defense did a pretty good job overall. But like I said, it's hard to judge the Falcons defense because they went up against an offense that's very limited. But yeah, you guys are absolutely right. Those turnovers by the Falcons definitely put the Steelers in position. And most of those field goal attempts were 50 yards plus. So it's not like Justin Fields and the Steelers were really moving the ball. Good point. Crowley X26, he says Hurts just has to be smarter with the ball. Absolutely, that's all. And he's a smart player. I think he'll be okay. Brian Stetcher says, "Let's go, Eagles fans. I'm always ready for week 2." Or let's go, Eagles always. I'm ready for week 2. Facts. I mean, I'm with you on that. Fanny Eagles fan says, but Hurts did good against the blitz. Cousins can't handle the blitz because he can't run up the middle. Yeah, man. This is gonna be interesting to see how Kirk Cousins handles pressure. Because I don't think he's physically up for it. Fanny Eagles fan says if the Falcons run 90% of the time, we should run the ball 91%. Logan Motorsports says the defense will be great. I think the defense is going to be real good as the season goes. Christy Lewis says the Falcons defense is strengthening. Hey, listen, that Falcons defense has talent on it. They got talent all over the place. I think that defense in the end is going to be pretty solid. I even think the offense should be solid if Kirk Cousins can build that confidence up. But yeah, we'll see. Again, it's hard to judge the Falcons defense, Christy. The Steelers offense is pretty bad. Christy also says the Steelers did not score against the Falcons defense, just field goals. Absolutely. We know. I got you. I know. Hey, listen, you guys grinded that win out. You're going to need more than 18 points to beat us when we play you, though. You're going to need more than 18. You might need to double that. Louis says, I bet the Falcons defense is going to go all in on shutting down Saquon with run blitzes and see if Hurts will turn the ball over. Set up Kirk with good field position. Yeah, that's another thing too. They're going to force Jalen Hurts to try to maybe throw the ball downfield, force him into mistakes. They're going to try, but you can't take the bait. Michael Brown says, yeah, you're right on the point about our defense. If we can't get home at least 3 to 4 times, is a problem. From week 1, of the only things that stuck out was the lack of pressure. We got to get home. Yeah, man, we got to. If the Eagles can get pressure on quarterbacks regularly, this defense is going to be really, really good because I think the secondary is going to end up being really good. I think the linebackers are going to be solid. This defensive line, they got to get home. If they get home, man, this will change the game. It'll change the game. Mom Duke's in the building. She said, let's go Eagles. Ray Bailey says, if the pass rush can't get home this week, we need to go back and get Hassan. A lot of y'all been saying that. A lot of y'all have been on this Hassan campaign to get him back to the city. And I don't know. I don't know how plausible it is. I don't know how realistic it is, if I'm being honest. I just don't know how realistic it is. Oh, yeah, by the way, my mother's birthday is on Monday, so y'all know we got to get the win, right? We got to get the win. Shout out to Mom Dukes. Happy early birthday to her. We definitely got to get that win for Mom Dukes now. Definitely got to. But yeah, Ray, the pass rush, it's not a concern for me yet. I'm not there yet. I know a lot of you guys are probably going to say, Tone, how are you not concerned? Look, I'm just not ready to fully judge the defensive line yet. I'm not there yet. It was really hard to judge those defenses in those conditions with the grass. It was hard. So I'm reserving judgment on the Eagles defense. When I see them play at home, then I'll form a stronger opinion. I'm going to reserve judgment. I'm going to reserve judgment. But we got to move on from Hassan. He's not coming back. We got to move on from that. He's not coming back. We got to move on from that. And again, thank y'all so much. We got over 120 people in here. Make sure you guys smash that like button. We only got 69 likes. The math not mathing, y'all. Come on, man. Smash that like button. I need y'all. I need y'all. Smash that like button. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know what we're doing here. There we go. There we go. We got 70 likes now. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's see. See, we got the comments here. Philly Eagle 843 says if Atlanta's offense can't stay on the field, that defense will be food. Yeah, it's funny. I'm really curious to see how and if the Atlanta Falcons sustain drives. I'm just curious to see how they get their guys open. Bro, Kirk Cousins' physical limitations just scare me for him. They're going to spam Bijan. I hope you guys knew that. They're going to spam Bijan Robinson in this game. Expect Bijan Robinson to touch that ball 20 plus times. Believe that. And I also think they're going to make a concerted effort to get guys like Ray McLeod involved, Kyle Pitts. They got to get those guys involved. But I know for a fact they're going to spam Bijan Robinson. He's their best player. Eagles realist said if we can get CJ back, we can get 7 back. Yeah, but GJ wasn't traded. It kind of just faded away. Look, at the end of the day, man, if the Eagles decided to pay Hassan, he'll come back, right? If the Eagles decided to pay him, he would definitely come back. But I don't think they want to give him whatever he's looking for. It all depends on what he's looking for. I've always heard he was looking for somewhere around 25. And the Eagles are not paying him $25 million. That's what I heard he's been looking for. Brian Stetcher says they always put Kirk Cousins against the Eagles on primetime games. Yeah, it's actually pretty funny how they always do that. It's every season, and it's always like week 2 or week 3 or something like that. I know Kirk Cousins is probably tired of playing us on Monday nights in primetime. I know he's probably fed up with it. Fanny Eagles fan says Bijan is not that third down running back yet. It's possible, but not yet. That's interesting because I'm curious to know if shoot. I'm curious to know how many touches. Okay, so listen to this though, Fanny. I hear what you're saying, but Bijan had 18 carries while Tyler Algier had 3 carries. I mean, he was clearly their number one running back. He clearly got most of the snaps too. So, again, he has to prove that he's dominant on all 3 downs, but he's definitely their third down running back regardless. And then here's another thing too. Ray McLeod has 7 targets. He has 7 targets in that game compared to Kyle Pitts' 3, Drake London's 3, Darnell Mooney's 3. Kirk Cousins has a trust in Ray McLeod, clearly. And also, Bijan Robinson had 5 targets with 5 catches. So Kirk Cousins really trusts Ray McLeod and Bijan Robinson. But could that also be because they were maybe the check downs, right? Could Bijan and Ray McLeod have been mainly his check down routes, and he just took those because he couldn't get the ball downfield? It's a possibility. But so far, based off this one game, he favored Ray McLeod and Bijan Robinson tremendously. Micah Brown says the D looked pretty solid. The defense looked pretty solid week 1, despite the horrible field conditions. With this offense, if we can put out a top 15 defense and stay healthy, we got Super Bowl action. Yeah, man. I think the Eagles defense just be top 14. Just be top 14. That's all you gotta do. Because think about it, 14 teams make the playoffs, 7 from each conference. If you got a top 14 defense, in theory, mathematically, that's a playoff level defense. That's what I'm looking for from the Philadelphia Eagles, just playoff level. It's Hutch. Welcome to the show, my man. I appreciate you. He says, we can't worry about Reddick. Need to pay Reed, Jordan Davis, and Jurgens after this season. Well, here's the thing, right? Reed Blankenship, they actually threw another year on his deal. So he actually has another year left on his contract after this season. So Reed Blankenship is locked up this year and next year on contract because the Eagles tacked on an additional year to his contract over the offseason. So you got Reed Blankenship for this season and next season. Jordan Davis, after this season, you definitely got to start to consider what you're going to pay him and what he's going to be long-term for you. Cam Jurgens, same thing. Cam Jurgens is entering year three, and he's going to be entering his final year of his contract. You're going to have to decide what you're going to pay him after this season. So yeah, I feel you on that. You do got some decisions. You do got some long-term decisions to make. Alex O says Nick Foles Ring of Honor on Monday. Atlanta is cooked. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game for Atlanta. I'll tell you that. That environment is going to be electric. I think not only are they giving Nick Foles not only are they putting Nick Foles in the Ring of Honor, I think also they're putting Shady LaShawn McCoy in the Ring of Honor as well. He made the Eagles Hall of Fame. I think they're going to be doing that on Monday. Dustin Russell says, y'all boys better not take the Falcons lightly. You will get you would get your behind whooped. When ATL get it figured out, they're going to be good. Well, guess what, Dustin? Here's the thing. We're catching them at the right time. It's funny. I don't know if you just happened to the live stream or not, but I acknowledge openly that Atlanta has talent all over their roster, but they don't realize how good they can be yet. They don't know they don't know how good they actually are. And the Eagles are catching them at the perfect time in week 2 before they actually figure it out. So you may be right, Dustin, that the Falcons are going to be a good team. But as of right now, they look suspect. And they're going to have to prove how good they are on Monday night against a team that's loaded like the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going to have to prove it. Kirk Cousins is going to have to prove that he can actually drop back, run the play action. It's going to be real hard for Bijan Robinson if you're not running out of the I formation and you can't really establish the run. The play action has no effect on the game. It's going to be a tough game for the Falcons. I'm telling you that right now. I don't take them lightly, but it's going to be a tough game for them, especially if the quarterback is more limited than what we were led on to believe. Let's see. Fanny says Falcons just been getting by since Matt Ryan and Julio left. Yeah, they've been struggling ever since Matt Ryan left. They've been struggling to score. They've been struggling to be consistent. It just goes without saying. Alex O says, nah, Shady will be against Jacksonville. Yes, you're right. My bad, Alex. My bad. Appreciate it. Thank you for the heads up, you guys. My bad. That's going to be later on in the season against Jacksonville. Good call, you guys. Good call. Brian Stetcher says Jason Kelsey's coming to Philly too on Monday Night Countdown. Yeah, he sure is. That should be cool. I mean, he lives in the area, so. Niners All Day and Day says, I got Falcons 31-7. You smoking crack. Shout out the Niners All Day and Day, though, man. Crowley says AJ on the injury report. Damn, does anyone know the severity? Ooh, let me check that out. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm seeing Let's bring this up on screen. So the Eagles just released their injury report today. AJ's going to play, though. Knowing the Philadelphia Eagles, they're just going to be real cautious with him. All right, check this. So this is the Philadelphia Eagles injury report as of today. AJ Brown with a hamstring, he's limited. Fred Johnson, thumb, limited. Milton Williams, foot, limited. Isaiah Rodgers, hand, fully practiced. Devin White, ankle, fully practiced. So Isaiah Rodgers and Devin White are full goals. AJ Brown, Fred Johnson, and Milton Williams were limited. It could be precautionary. It could, it could be them just being like cautious. That's all. Listen, AJ Brown is their golden goose. Whenever you see guys like AJ Brown, Lane Johnson, Devontae Smith, unless we see something happen in the game, for the most part, they're just going to be very cautious with guys like that. Because AJ Brown, you know what he's going to give you. AJ Brown don't need to practice every damn day. You know what he's going to do. Lane Johnson, same thing. So I'm not concerned about AJ Brown's hamstring right now. I'm not, unless we hear any further news, unless we get closer to it. And also they play on Monday. So again, this could be them just saying, you know what, AJ, we're just going to rest you until game day. Right? Rest until game day, off Saturday and Sunday. Stay loose. He'll be fine. Hawk Mercenary says, how is the Falcons offensive line? Well, in that game, they weren't really that good against the Steelers, but granted, the Steelers defense is legit, and they got a real pass rush with that's led by JJ Watt. So that's something that's it's gonna be really interesting to judge how good Atlanta's offensive line is. I thought they would be much better than what I saw, but again, the play calling was predictable. And they didn't really make it easy for that offensive line. And again, you went up against the Steelers defense. Not an easy task. But I think Atlanta's offensive line is one of the better ones. I'm not going to sit here and sleep on their offensive line. I think their offensive line is one of the better offensive lines in the league. I'll say that. I'll say that much. Bo 1990 says 3 picks minimum. A1 Forever says Philly is a tough place to play, even without the Ring of Honor. I'm glad we're playing Philly and KC right now rather than later. Philly is still figuring out their plays on both sides as well. Fair enough, but I mean, you're figuring things out and you drop 34 points on the Packers. I mean, that's a pretty comfortable way that's a pretty cool way to figure things out, right? You drop 34 points on your opponent's head and you're still figuring it out. Hey, man, that's going to be a tough day for the Atlanta Falcons if the Eagles figure it out on Monday. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a tough day for the Falcons. I'll tell you that much. Regardless, all Eagles fly says that's what I was thinking. The link is going to be crazy with Foles retiring. I agree. Michael Brown says, right, nobody looking past the Falcons. We just know what the Eagles are capable of. We coming for the dirty birds. We the only real bird gang. Facts. Louis. He says Jordan Davis needs to show up on some solid turf. Jalen Carter is taking all the double teams. That's what offensive lines are going into it trying to do, right? They're obviously you want Jalen Carter to deal with more one-on-ones than anything, but opposing offenses, offensive lines are saying to themselves, let's neutralize Jalen Carter and make everybody else beat us. So I guess basically what you're saying is if Jordan Davis can become a force or become a threat, that can open things up. That can potentially open things up for Jalen Carter. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. Bottom line is I think we agree on one thing. Jordan Davis got to continue to step his weight up. So much more food left on the table for him to take down. Bo 1990 says the Eagles win 42-10. Crawley X26 says the Eagles like to keep that competitive advantage. Michael Brown says, nah, AJ just a rest day, I believe. I mean, he was limited, so he clearly was practicing, but they probably just, he probably said, I got a little tightness, and they decided that, let's just keep it limited. Let's not overdo it. It's early in the season, no need to take no unnecessary risk. Dustin Russell says, what if they figure it out against y'all? Again, you can't take a team lightly. Eagles weren't perfect. I missed a lot of tackles, and Jalen Hurts turns the ball over a lot, but it's going to be fun. Dustin Russell, clearly you're a Falcons fan, and that's cute. But what I saw from the Falcons, what y'all issues are, you're not figuring that out in full in 1 week. You're just not. You're not figuring it out in full in 1 week. You know, and I know it. Kirk Cousins ain't all right. You know it in your heart. Kirk Cousins is not all good out there. He's not all right out there. You know it in your heart. Y'all paid that man 4 years, $180 million. 4 years, $180 million. You got some concerns about that man, I'm telling you. I know you do in your heart. C to the Aura says we need to bring the blitz. Remember a few years ago when we blitzed Kirk, he just threw the ball straight to Slay over and over again. LOL, 38-16 Eagles. Yeah, man, that was a hell of a game, man. That was a fun game. Our Eagles Fly says, "What the heck?" He said, "What the?" He said, "WTF?" The AJ one. Hopefully, it's cautious. Yeah, AJ Brown. He was limited today with the hamstring situation. I think he'll be okay. Like Fanny said, when you see do not practice, that's when you get a little concerned. That's what I get concerned. All right, let's see, because we about to get out of here. So, well, actually, I got to do my giveaway. Got to do my giveaway. Almost forgot about that. All right. Got to do my giveaway. Give me 1 second. So if you guys are familiar with the channel, you guys know that I was doing giveaways all throughout training camp, all throughout preseason. And we're going to start those back up. And I really do appreciate you guys for locking in on the content the way you guys have been. Excuse me. Means a lot to me. So, and again, I appreciate you guys smashing that like button. I appreciate you guys staying engaged with the content. Goes a long way. We got over 130 people on the live stream, 91 likes. Smash that like button. You guys smash that like button. I want to start doing my giveaways. I'm giving away something free. A lucky winner. A lucky winner will be announced. A lucky winner will be selected today. So make sure you guys smash that like button so I can start the giveaways. If you guys are familiar with if you guys are familiar with the show, I've done giveaways plenty. You know, I've given stuff away to people like Mark Johnson, Jameer Adams, Keisha White, Thomas Adams. Most recently, our most recent giveaway winner was Rolando Durand out of New Jersey. So make sure you guys, but we need 100 likes before we start the giveaways. We need 100 likes before we start doing our giveaways, y'all. We're almost there. We need 2 more. We need 2 more. And my rules are pretty simple. There's going to be a code word that pops up, right? When the code word pops up on the screen, you have to email me at chalkitupsports52@gmail.com. That's chalkitupsports52@gmail.com. There, you will email me your first and last name, your mailing address, and the code word. If you do not send all 3 of those things, first and last name, mailing address, and code word, you do not qualify for the giveaway. You have to email that information to chalkitupsports52@gmail.com. So as it stands right now, we are at 103 likes. I appreciate you guys so much. So here we are. Here's the code word for this week's giveaway. Here's the code word. Write it down, take a screenshot, do whatever you got to do. But just know there can only be 1 winner per week. 1 winner per week, and there are no repeat winners. If you're familiar with my giveaways, people know I take care of them. People know well that I take care of them here at Chalk It Up Sports. As a matter of fact, let me just give you guys a glimpse. Let me give you guys a glimpse of what we do here. Not only do we have merch, right? We do giveaways. Where is it? My man Rolando. This is my man Rolando Duran. Rolando was our most recent giveaway winner. He won the Midnight Green Eagles beanie and the gloves. You know it's going to get real cold this season. So make sure you guys lock in on the giveaways. We're giving away a lot of stuff. Rolando Duran was one of our winners from way back. Who else we got? We had, where are we here? We had my man Bold Brew. Bold Brew was a giveaway winner. Here's Bold Brew with his gift. He won that Eagle snapback. Bold Brew was Thomas Adams. Shout out to my man Thomas. Thomas was one of our giveaway winners. Who else we got here? My man Jameer Adams. Shout out to my man Jameer. Jameer was one of my giveaway winners as well. Shout out to Jameer. Good dude. And also, where it's at. Keisha White. Keisha White was one of my giveaway winners. Shout out to Keisha. Keisha took a picture of her gift. You see the box right there from Chalk It Up Sports. I mailed everything out myself. Make sure you guys stay locked in on the content. Like I said, the code word. Here's the code word on the screen. Email it to Chalk It Up Sports. chalkitupsports52@gmail.com. Also, got to give away to my man. Got to give it up for my man Mark Johnson. Mark Johnson won the Kelly Green snapback from your boy here at Chalk It Up Sports. Shout out to Mark Johnson. We blessing a lot of people. We've done plenty of giveaways before. Anybody has an opportunity to win. Everybody. We don't do repeat winners because I want to make sure everyone has a chance. But once again, a lot of people have had opportunities to win. I think we've had about four or five giveaway winners thus far. We've had, let's see here, 2, 4. We had 5 so far. We've had 5. I want to add to that list. Also, you guys, if you don't know already, we do merch as well. We got merchandise here at Chalk It Up Sports. The merchandise is in full effect. Shout out to my man Rufus. My man Rufus got his Apex Predator shirt. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Rufus supporting the show, supporting the merchandise. We not only do we have shirts, oversized shirts, y'all, we got hoodies, we got sweatshirts as well. Make sure you guys lock in on the merchandise. Shout out to my man Rufus. Also, shout out to my dad. My dad with his Apex Predator shirt. Shout out to him. Man. The merchandise is moving, y'all. So I really do appreciate y'all as well. Shout out to the OG. The OG Shep had his on. Shout out to him. You feel me? He was holding it down. So yeah, man, the merchandise is moving, man. Once again, if you're trying to make sure you're a part of this giveaway, make sure you email me. Email me at chalkitupsports52@gmail.com. That's chalkitupsports52@gmail.com. The code word is on the screen. So far, we got a few emails that came in. I want to make sure I give a lot of people a chance to win. We got over 100 people in this live chat. Don't miss out. Like I said, we're giving away a lot of stuff. We've given away hats, beanies, gloves. You know what I'm saying? I gotta, sooner or later, we're gonna be giving away jerseys too. I got them right here. I'm looking right at them. It's just a matter of when I send them out. That's all. I got a couple jerseys right here. Got some Eagles pillows. Got some Eagles beanies and winter gear. Make sure you email me at chalkitupsports52@gmail.com. The code word is on the screen. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, you guys. I appreciate the love. I appreciate this. I appreciate the support. Once again, the code word is Saquon3TD. Saquon3TD. That's the code word. And the email is chalkitupsports52@gmail.com. Email me your first name, your last name, your mailing address, and the code word. Okay? And it's straight like that. And we out of here, you guys. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the show. Means a lot to me, goes a long way. Make sure you stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry. You guys are tuned into a very special dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the gang.